So we're currently working for Parsons developing a Bluetooth asset tracker using Bluetooth Direction Finding 5.1. What this does is it basically takes an antenna array that's made up of multiple antennas, and it takes what is a CTE Bluetooth signal, a constant tone extension signal, and when that signal is passed into the antenna array, it measures the difference from one antenna to another antenna to say what is the angle of arrival that that signal came from. Using this in combination with RSSI, which is signal strength indication, we can tell exactly how far out they are and what the directionality is in the X, Y, and Z space. The idea behind this is that we're going to use it for search and rescue. So if you have a bunch of firefighters going into a building that might be on different floors and things like that, each one of them carrying one of these asset trackers, we can actually use the home device to be able to track them on a touch screen and see exactly where each one of them are based on their individual MAC address for their tracker. It's definitely kind of brand new information. They just came out with Bluetooth 6.0, and a lot of the stuff that's for this direction finding implementation is all SDKs or development kits. So there's not like, your phone doesn't have CTE, my phone doesn't have CTE, most everybody in the world doesn't have it. It will become more prevalent in the next 10 years and probably used for advertising. Would be funnily enough what's going to cause it to be more common. But it's one of those things that I had never heard of before I started the project. Basically the enclosure that's going to hold all of the different components. We're using a Raspberry Pi 4, a BG22 microcontroller with antenna array. We're using a DC-DC boost converter to change the 3.7 volts to 5 volts for the Raspberry Pi. We're charging it through USB. It's a very full-fledged project we've been working on for a year now, me and 3 other teammates. But a lot of it is more logistics than you would ever imagine. Documentation, setting up things so that you're actually adhering to what is regulations and required things, constraints, criteria. It ends up being more logistics than you would ever guess. And I think that's what the whole point of that class is showcasing all of these different steps that are required to actually work something from start to finish. I think that being able to have this kind of setup where it's kind of mimicking or mirroring what is actual industry is really nice. It gives you a bit of kind of practice in that step. Also working with a true client, like Bill over at Parsons is one of the most awesome humans. Really genuinely down-to-earth, nice guy who just wants us to succeed. And it's the nicest kind of format you can have as your first steps into the water that you might not have going out into private industry on your own and just trying to find a job.